I was able to purchase and pick up a 1974 Case 580B that I found on Facebook Marketplace for $3,500. Now, as many of you know, if you're into heavy equipment or you're looking for backhoes, right, the market for the subcompacts and the compacts are just, it's through the roof. You can't find them, but when you do, people got them. They're crazy prices, and the minute they show up on Facebook, they're gone, right? The older units, bigger backhoes, are a lot cheaper because, well, they're older. Number one. Number two, no one wants to deal with them. They can be a pain in the you-know-what to deal with when you've got to repack cylinders, changing oil, hydraulics, all that jazz. A lot of people just don't want to get into it. They just want to pay the money and start digging. I have always been really kind of okay with a unit that may need some work. I finally stumbled across this one. The guy had it on for $5,000. This is about 2 weeks ago. He said he didn't get any hits, but anybody he did said it was too big, it was too much work. He knocked it down to $3,500. I wasn't going to argue with him because I know the value of these in the marketplace. I'm not an expert, but I definitely know what you can get for them if they're working in operational condition. So I decided to go ahead and buy it. So we're going to do a walk around in a minute here. But again, 1974 Case 580B backhoe, $3,500. Really excited to show this to you. Okay, taking a look at this girl, as you can see, she's a little rough around the edges. As I mentioned, hydraulics, cylinders need to be repacked. The swing cylinders, which are notorious for leaking on these, get in there a little closer, they have been leaking for a very long time with the amount of crud that is built up on them, so they'll definitely need to be redone. Boom's in relatively good condition. The top cylinder and the main there, I think they call that a curl, is square. That's in pretty decent shape, doesn't need work. These two side ones definitely, as you can see, they need work, so I'll need to order the repacking kits here. That just blew out. I mean, this thing just leaks oil when it's operating. So stabilizers, they need to be redone as well. Not as bad, we can live with it, but I'll probably wind up doing it once I get good at doing all this work. Taking a walk up front, bucket is in really great shape. A little bit of a crack right at the top, nothing earth-shattering, but she's got a nice volume she can pick up and move around. Even these curl cylinders here for the front are in good shape. They do not need to be repacked. I wish they did. I wouldn't mind doing those. It's these main boom ones. This big one here, you see she's leaking there. Probably need new hydraulics here, so on and so forth. The motor is probably not seen, this thing has probably not had a bath in 20 to 30 years. So today we're going to be doing an oil change on it. I will film that. That's one of the first things we want to take care of and start banging away in this. But ultimately, she's not horrible. Let's take a walk inside. We'll look around. Going to the technical aspect here, we've got an hour meter that reads 3790. I highly doubt that is accurate. I ran this, I drove it up my driveway, that thing did not budge, so we'll definitely need to be looking at what's going on there. None of the gauges work whatsoever. Most of it looks to be cut wires or just things, you know, they're broken, whatever, so we'll need to get that addressed too. The front and rear glass are in really great shape, so no need to do any work there. Plexi will need to be redone. That's easy enough. You can get that for dirt cheap. Got to reform it. This is my favorite right here. This is a old car heater, probably from the 70s. That was repurposed into a heater here. I'm going to rip that out and just connect the lines and call it a day there. As with every old machine you get, a super cool toolbox full of stuff. And what I really like was the fact that the owner, every bolt he ever took out of this thing wound up in this box. I've started going through it, but I have found literally every missing bolt is actually in here. The one thing that is not here, which kind of sucks, and it's probably one of the more expensive things, although I've not dug deep, is the boom lock. which if you take a look down there, let's see what we got there, that hole right there, that is where a pin goes to lock this thing center when you're transporting it. Probably wind up having to get that, which is fine. I just didn't want to spend, I think they're like $150. Considering what they do, it's definitely worth it. But everything else is really good. These grease certs have not had grease put in I can't even begin to tell you. So they're going to need a little bit of work, but everything works surprisingly on a machine that is almost 50 years old. She runs good, she runs strong, needs work, needs a bath. She's going to get a bath today, and what we're going to do is start with our oil change, but nonetheless, really good shape, worth the $3,500. I think I could certainly resell this. Let's get out of the cockpit. I could definitely resell it after cleanup. I don't think anybody would want to deal with the leaking there, but you know, something I can easily do, get that squared away, the majority of them, if you will, but definitely get my money back if I wanted to. The one that concerns me the most, which is kind of weird, there is a single piston here that is leaking, and I don't know, or I haven't figured out how to get that off yet. It's only on this side, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to get in here and goof around and see what I can do. But ultimately, I'm happy with my purchase. Like I said, 1974 580B, $3,500 on Marketplace. And she's gonna spend quite some time working here. You can see I've got about 1 acre to 2 acres here that just needs a ton of work to get knocked out. So she's going to be working clearing all this property out once we get her done. So let's get started. All right, since you guys, you're not here to watch me pressure wash, we're going to fast forward all this. But first thing to do is get this thing cleaned up. So we got degreaser sitting on it for a couple of hours. I'm going to hit it initially with pressure washer. So we're going to go into time lapse. Cue the cool music. Probably should have thought that one through. So years of buildup, trying to get that sprayed off. Had a good degreaser, a environmentally safe degreaser, which I'm wearing half of it. I'm gonna go take a shower, but she looks a lot better. All right, let's take a look. Getting a little closer. So we've got that cleaned up, and now you can really see how badly these pistons are. So this one just lost all its rings. Here's the outer dust. I think it's called the dust wiper, right? But yeah, that still needs a lot of cleaning up in there, but you can see, yeah, a lot of work to do. Again, from what I hear, these are the biggest pain. So I got the kit on order to do these guys. I don't even know how that comes out. It makes me nervous. Doesn't look like there's any keepers in there. We'll have to figure that out. That's okay. She's going to get probably 2 or 3 more baths after I start getting this work done. It's going to need it. I just don't know how these things are in. Right here. They look like they're going to be a bear to get out. I don't know if you top them up or knock them down, but we'll find out. All right, more to follow.